Yeah, exactly. Oh, wow. It's the whole thing. That's cool.
Well, I hope it improves from there.
That I hope.
Oh, good.
Did I text you Joe's number?
I don't think so, but
Thank you.
I talked this morning and I think I've come up with a good plan.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
Okay.
well, I remember.
It's hard, you know, there's so much. Like, I know how to pass around the victim.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That new one?
No, it's an old one that agency. Calls. No, we don't pay for coffee. So you're drinking what you want.
Crap.
Oh, good call.
Price is right.
Right,
This is
right.
one of them, but I want this redone. Yeah. All 4 panels. And so I'm gonna show Rand that.
Oh.
Oh, that's pretty old.
I took the one, a bit off. The two in mine, unless I considerably am not awake enough to put one and like one.
There was a weird loose creep in one of the cups, but there,
Unless I actually did one of this and one.
yeah, or it spilled over somehow.
You know, I might get coffee to make my coffee. Good morning, how are you, my dear?
Well, I mean,
Yeah, you're back. I was there.
Yeah. So it's about what, 2 or 3 years? Maybe if you just go into it. Yeah, it seems like a pattern.
Yeah. But I wasn't only a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay. So you're doing okay now.
Not doing fine.
Nice. Very good. Well, that's the most important thing.
Only you know. I have what I need.
Yeah.
And
I put it on,
you know what? Friday morning, I just felt.
how are you?
I'm not going to work.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did.
Hey, Lauren,
I didn't get here.
how are you, young man?
Talked to you after you did all the girl, I said, everything's okay. Oh, I just had a, in Henry, about over.
You know that.
Anthony thinks about that all the time, about not getting enough.
So, this,
Yeah, there's how would you wake up, you go,
Yeah,
I gotta get this one.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really bad.
You're
not better.
So, how you doing?
I know. Oh, I don't. I haven't been in a while.
Told you, I actually told him. He doesn't never call me, we can be out. Did you get a copy?
Or you can memo all of it. I know, which might be good. Really might be easier to do. I mean,
We got it, I think we had 2 pallets.
That the other?
And yeah, I didn't count how many of those boxes were on the pallet, but probably isn't good. Yeah. We gave her one as well, when I brought it in. I mean, that's what I figure, like, well, we're really. Hey, Chris? Yeah.
Right.
Put up exactly. Well, I mean, one of those things here is that theory. The amount of our clients that have theory, we're not. It ends up just taking you on face for a long time.
Yeah.
I think from there, like, my, like something. Yeah.
Or for their costume.
I know. And that.
When's your lawnmower on
Hey.
season?
Breakfast for the episode.
Oh, right, yeah.
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 Does it know that? Doesn't tell it. It goes right through the bar. Yeah. I've got it. Yeah. If you remember why.
Yeah.
Well. Today.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah, there you go.
Trying to build it back. The place together, so you have fuzzy.
Yeah.
We have places and stuff. I don't know about that. I don't know.
I've learned a lot in the last 5 to 10 years. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. I might take a like journey over that I check.
Yeah.
March. It was so good. I'm doing
Do which will.
Right. Yes.
Or as well as an eyeball. And then it's open.
How are you?
Okay,
good.
This is just five students and is there? That's
They're empty. Yeah. Somebody would run across it on the top of it, they're off. So like you would stand there.
So.
Morning, Dawn. Hi, Ron.
Ross,
Yeah.
Spirit body.
In addition to.
How you doing, Rand?
Good. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning.
Be popular or not. I'm just either way.
Okay, except I think Trish is talking about some of the dishes.
I have.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. You have, oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. List that you follow or? Yeah, because she's gonna be.
Hello, sir. Hello, Mel. Glad we can make this happen. Hello. Well, you made this happen. Well, no. You made this happen. Did you get my email? I'm sorry, I sent it out pretty late last night. Oh, no, I didn't. But, I just have a Google slideshow. If you can open the link, it should just go down.
Okay.
I can give you the address.
I just forward it to, I'll just forward it to Rotary.
Somebody did, yeah, so. Everything.
Yeah, I know, we've got a few things up already there, but, you have, no, I actually need to, Lake City River, I mean, Lake City Road. Maybe if you have,
I have to log on here. Okay, all right. Hello, morning. Man, you're here.
Yes.
And Denver's the transmission.
Oh my God.
All day.
Let's get the show on the road. I think it's that time. All right, we have a sergeant at arms to help us with our flag salute.
Okay, please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, before we test the things we think, say, or do. First, second, all concerned. Third, good health and better friendships. Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And fifth, sixth,
Arg,
art.
arg,
All right, thank you.
I don't know, did Vikings say arg to?
Our Vikings slash pirate name.
Yeah,
There's
there's always been a controversy.
Or y'all.
Yeah.
But y'all sure you betcha.
That sounds more like it. They're, you know, they're so polite. Vikings. All right, let's see.
No, I mean,
We have a,
Yep,
you have one?
Oh,
yep.
All right, Gary's gonna do our inspirational.
No, I'm not, I'm just reciting what Eileen told me I had to give.
you're still
Okay.
doing what Eileen.
so
told
that
me.
means you're not inspirational?
No, not today.
Okay.
All Eileen. If you know Eileen, you do what she says. That's kind of the way it has to be in my house too, so I'm used to this. Anyway, a ship is always safe at shore, but that is not what it is built for. Albert Einstein. Did they have ships in his day?
Yeah, I think so. I'm just trying to figure that one out. How is a ship safe at shore? It sounds like a shipwreck to me. Yeah, no,
Don't
you're
shoot
right.
the messenger.
All right, well, we have some visitors today. Hello, Laura.
Hello.
Yeah, we all remember Laura from our film festival.
Yep.
And Bao Tran, filmmaker, is going to be our presenter today. And
My name's Vicki Berglund Davenport. I'm a Lake Stevens resident, Lake Stevens Education Foundation, and film office manager for Washington Film Works.
oh, this is really cool. Well, we're gonna, you know, you really get into this film thing.
But we go.
Yeah. And let's see, do we have any other guests? We have Debbie here. Debbie's kind of not a guest. She's, yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, yeah, that's not everybody else is. Oh, we got Rand and we got Ron and. Oh, Amy is up there. So nice group today. All right, so we have no birthdays, but we do have anniversaries. We've got Gary coming up here with an anniversary.
Yeah, tomorrow, just a small little 62 years. Very, that age.
That's pretty cool. And Rand, we got one coming up for you, I think, here pretty soon.
38 years. That's right.
Huh, we didn't hear anything, Rand. Can you say something again?
I said it's 38 years and counting.
Peter lives.
It's always something, you know that? We need a tech person to run this show. So we're the other Rotary sign is on. Sign on and, oh, it's Angie's, okay, well, whatever. Yeah, hi, Angie.
Good morning.
Okay, we got one Rotary anniversary, which is Tracy. Oh, yeah. So, geez,
How many years?
Yeah, how many years?
didn't check, but I'm sure it's a few, you know, I mean, she maybe 10-ish, something like that.
Probably more.
Nothing worse than DC today.
More than 10.
She is, okay.
Who's that?
Hopefully she can straighten things out there for us. I have to hop on the plane here next week, so I'm kind of sweating this whole government shutdown thing. Okay, just a few announcements. We did have a little meeting after the meeting last week. Some of the board members got together. And we kind of decided on a few of the local events that we want to participate in. Perhaps using our new tent if it's ready on time, which it should be. One is the Harvest Fest during Halloween, which is downtown, and we hope to, of course, have to drive in for that.
It's on his calendar.
Okay, that's good. And then, and we haven't talked details or anything, but Winterfest, which is coming up on December 2nd, I believe.
Come on, it just turned fall.
Well, you know, that is kind of a good point because it isn't even winter yet when we have Winterfest. So it's not even close. It's like 2 weeks away. So, we'll have to talk to the city about that. Well, late fall quest. How's that? But that's the tree lighting ceremony and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be fun. Couple little things. We have the Interact. According to Kristen, let us know that they're going to be out doing a street litter pickup on Saturday. It sounds like they've got tools set up and everything for, you know, picking garbage bags and all that kind of stuff. And we are having a little trouble with Zoom right now, just because the Zoomer is not up to date, maybe on recent upgrades, but we do have a video from our bike ride that I wanted to share. See if I can find it. There it is. And this might not have video or audio because of this. Oh, wait. I think I discovered what's wrong.
You gotta plug it in.
All right, let's go back. That's really technical stuff, folks.
You're an engineer.
Well, it's still not working. Oh, well, it's a video. We don't need music.
Down below.
There.
There, that's where.
Whoa.
Oh, we can hear Rand.
We can hear you guys now. We couldn't hear the video, but anyhow, that was fun. That was fun. Yeah, it was our first external family event for the season, which is important to us in this squad.
Nice.
All right.
Bring Colin.
All right, so let's do our reports real quickly here. Jack, do you have anything on money?
2.1% of the people pay their dues.
1%.
Two people pay their dues and no one paid another 1% of their dues.
Another 1% of their
Or
dues?
10%.
10.
Oh, okay. That's helpful. Good. Well,
living keep the lights on for another week.
And that, you just made me turn them off.
Yeah, what the heck? Okay, Gary.
We have an October board meeting, first Tuesday of the month, which is this coming Tuesday, October 3rd. I assume we'll do it in Brian's office, but I'll have to check with him and see. I'm gonna continue to say we're still looking for sponsors for corks and kegs. Debbie brought some baskets, that are in the back. They're wine and beer and basically selling tickets. For the food bank, Empty Bowls is this coming Thursday, October 6th, VIP event. Friday. VIP and Saturday from 4:30 to 6. At the all-new Lake Stevens Community Food Bank, where you can see our wonderful sign on the teaching kitchen. And Don already mentioned that Interact is going to be out picking up along 13th Street in the high school, 113th, and doing all of that. So we're going to try and get them vest and some other things just before they go out. And then the Lake Stevens Chamber will be hosting their annual community candidate forum next Thursday evening, October 5th at the Mill in downtown Lake Stevens. So you want to meet the candidates, go out and meet them. Chris, are you on that agenda?
Yes, I am.
You're going to give up and give a long speech?
I am. Taking my hands in
Are you really?
I don't know, there's a couple of tough moderators. Yes, oh, you must be one of them. No. Okay.
Who are the moderators?
I don't know. Doug Warren and SVR. Dave Wordsworth. Kim, Janice. Kim? Janice. Janice. Oxford. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Anyway, that's it.
okay, thank you very much. Ron, do you have something?
Yeah, just if you can hear me.
We
Can
can
you hear me?
you.
Okay. Just kind of reiterate what Gary said. Eileen want to pass on because she's not here. Continue bringing your baskets, your wine, your beer for the corks and kegs. Then a reminder that we have a fireside coming up October 11th at Rustic Cork.
Thank you. Alrighty, Brian is not here for community services. Vishal not here for foundation. Linda's still out on international. I don't think there's anything new on that. She is hoping to have a full report soon on relief efforts down in Honduras following the big storm down there. Kyle on membership, Kristen, we already heard about the cleanup. Kendra? I don't think she's here. But she's got a great program for us today. We already know that. And with that, we'll go to public image with Rand. Oh, Rand, I think your microphone might be the problem.
No, I'm just messing with you, Don. Okay, public image. Let's see. We have one. Second, last week the board approved a new tent, and that's in design. So hopefully it will be here in about a month or less. And that's it. That's all I got for public image right now.
All right, thank you. With that, why don't we do our drawing and happy bucks and fines if we deserve fines.
Okay. Novice, sergeant at arms. So, what do I need here for the drawing? I need the bucket, and I need the.
And the person's a good number.
We'll get that in a minute. All right. So for our guests, would you take a lucky red ticket out of there and read the last three numbers?
5709.
Not me.
The person after me.
Who's 5709?
That should be Amelia. No, Amelia's before me.
Lauren?
Yeah, no, it's Amelia.
Oh, yeah, they are. Lucky duck. Now pick a lucky duck. You got it, right?
Yeah.
Here is your consolation prize. You back for that? All right. I'm gonna grab my wallet because I am gonna do a couple of fines because I'm gonna find myself and see how many of you get fined along with me. First fine. I got halfway here and realized I didn't put my glasses on this morning. So I made it safe. You don't have to worry. I can drive without my glasses. But anybody in the room that doesn't have glasses on, put $1 in the.
I got glasses. Wait.
My age is done.
Why are you being punished?
I know. I could have done it the other way. It would have been discrimination either way, right? Okay, the other one. It is Friday. I do not see any Seahawks gear, including myself.
I thought it was just called.
Oh, there's one.
Beg your pardon.
There's two. Anybody on the screen? No? All right, if you don't have Seahawks gear. Anyhow.
Room wide.
Oh, you got it.
Does the lanyard count?
Yes.
Yeah, sweet.
Don't forget the back table. Those of you guys on the screen, be honest. All right, let's go to Happy Bucks. I'll start off that I had a conversation with Joyce Bell yesterday, actually the last couple of days. So I want to put a buck in here for Joyce. Her washing machine flooded her whole house and she is having to move out for up to 2 months while they redo her house. Luckily, she said her neighbor's got space for her, so she's not going very far away. But keep Joyce in your thoughts as we go forward. So you want to start with Happy?
Well, I still have a fine to pay, but this isn't quite. Well, happy, gosh, I'm just happy that the sun's coming back and hopefully I'll get on a plane this coming week and I'm gonna be gone for the next 2 meetings, so we've got capable backup for
Where are you going? Somewhere fun?
Santorini, which is why I have my
Oh.
shirt on. You know, nothing like going to an island in the Mediterranean.
Nice.
Enjoy what's left of the summer, so.
Good.
If you leave, we hope you can come back.
Well, you know, I'm more worried about being able to leave. Coming back is less important.
All right, Happy.
Yeah, just generally happy. Happy.
Good.
Happy it's Friday. I got to work.
Yes, you did.
That's still working.
Good.
Happy to be here. I'm excited for Empty Bowls next week. I want to give a thank you to Debbie. We went to her shop and Friday night, we're gonna have a huge grazing board for the food table and she's sponsoring it. Giving us lots of good stuff. I also got to buy stuff for myself in her shop, so.
Of course.
Plug for Debbie.
Yeah, just generally happy it's Friday and then I make a meeting Friday morning to tough, but I think that's it.
And you've got a fundraiser coming up too?
Oh yeah, October 28th, we're doing a big Halloween ball at Creator Zone. It's gonna be really fun. Next meeting, I'll bring some information on it. But it's gonna be, yeah, we've got all of our makers, all the artists in the community decking the whole place out. It's gonna be like a haunted house. There's gonna be a DJ, big dance floor, tons of fun music, bar. Yeah.
So for adults.
For adults only.
Oh, good.
Well, the daytime.
The daytime,
For
yeah.
kids.
It's for kids, so we're doing it crafts and treats for the community for free, so kids can come and make crafts and have little treats, and then at night, it's gonna be an adult only. Halloween ball, it's gonna be really fun.
And, all right,
Well, I'm happy that Chris is here today. And I am really happy, it's not exceptionally unique, but this week, HGTV came to my shop and filmed an episode for Unsellable Houses, or part of one. We'll see how much we get in there, but it was exciting and fun and
congratulations.
thank you.
Are you happy?
I got a couple of happy, yeah, I got I'm going through grad school with the Army War College, which I didn't want to do, but they're forcing me to, but I got a B+, so that's good, that's good. So
All right.
start. I'll be gone for the next 4 Rotaries, I gotta go to Italy.
Got
Gotta. So I'm staying at my brother-in-law's place, and he said, I'm just gonna stay there. That doesn't sound fun to me, and then I'm going to Japan afterwards, that's work, but also fun, because I got family there, so that's pretty cool. Yeah.
All right.
Is it that game, the trip where you bring the game?
We're setting up, we're preparing for the next trade mission for the game design. So
That's so cool. I'm excited to hear.
And I'm glad Filmworks is here because I helped advocate for them for some tax exemption stuff, though I still think you should have gotten more, and the paperwork sucks. And I'm sorry,
You
but
should know, thank
there was a lot of opposition to it, so, yeah, very cool.
All right, you don't have to be happy last.
There you go. I'm happy my brother came to visit.
All right. Gary, are you happy?
I'm happy. I'm gonna either Venmo or Square, $62 for.
So your anniversary.
Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome. Awesome. Amelia, are you happy?
Today's Friday. Hopefully. Well. Hopefully everything will turn on the table. Thank you.
Hopefully. All right. Chris.
I'm happy it's Friday. It looks like the sun might come out and we'll all be happy because of that.
See a little bit of sun today. You want to be happy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't find you as a guest, but I.
Oh, don't give them a chance.
I know, you'll take advantage of that later. No, I just got back from a 11-day trip to Ireland, so that was fun with, a group of 39 people, so, and I'm just happy to be here with all of you.
Nice. Zoomers, any happiness on that board?
Absolutely. It is my 38th wedding anniversary this week, which is
He's still
remarkable.
messing with us.
No, my mic is on. Really, I'm not messing with it. Can you hear me?
Ron?
I think they're messing with you because I can hear you fine.
Okay, good, Ron. Thanks.
All right. Thank
We're
you.
having a little audio issue again. Now, at least we hear noise, but not a lot of voices.
Test, test.
Say that again. It's Morse code.
They must not be able to hear us anymore.
No, I think they've lost us, Ron.
Well, we're both happy, so that's good.
We're gonna take your word for it. Okay. Well, thank you, Lance. Appreciate it. So Beltran, he is our presenter today, and maybe one of our presenters, hopefully. And he's writer-director. We met him, actually, many of us met him at the Lake Stevens Film Fair. And Chris and I actually had an opportunity to get to know you a little bit more after the event, and that was really, really fun. And it was very interesting to hear about what it's like to make films in Washington State. You know, it's a challenge here because there's, well, you'll go into that, I'm sure. Or one of you will, but, Val's first feature film, The Paper Tigers, garnered praise from Variety as an irresistibly good-humored debut. And the New York Times remarks that his lighthearted, refreshing approach neither succumbed to whitewashing nor the model minority myth. Interesting. Rotten Tomatoes ranks it as one of the best action comedies and best Asian American movies ever made, with a certified fresh rating. And I've seen the movie, and it actually is kind of fun. It starts out heavy, but it gets lighter and lighter, and it's available. It's on Amazon, probably, and others too, I would think. And I would recommend watching it. It was, like I say, it was actually fun. So why don't you take over? I do have your PowerPoint. I think we can get it up. So
Thank you. I'm glad we had some video presentation, so I'm not just talking to you. We have some cool visuals. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Kendra. I think she's dialing in, but thank you so much for having me here. This is a nice way for me to learn about the Rotary. This is a wonderful. I just learned about this morning, so it's good to learn about this. I feel like Hollywood could maybe learn a little bit of this. Just to show of hands, who's heard of the film? Okay, so
Just like the duck.
good. So that counts. So who's not heard of this film? I think we should contribute to the fine jar. Maybe on your way out, but we won't have to do anything about it. Yeah, I know.
We're not gonna make him a member.
I'm a quick learner. Again, so Don had given kind of an introduction. I'm based here. I was born in Olympia. I moved up to Shoreline, now in Everett, so I'm on Bop and all over the place, but I'm pretty much Pacific Northwest kid. I think we'll have if you're able to show the trailer in the deck. While you're working, I'll just filibuster.
movie.
It's okay, I'll filibuster for a bit. But I've been making movies here since I was a kid, just loving movies, growing up watching movies. I'm I guess you would call it first generation Vietnamese American. So my family came in the late 70s. I was born here. So I grew up in a bicultural household, watching movies from Asia, watching movies from Hollywood, growing up and watching Spielberg, James Cameron. So these are the movies that I grew up with and were entertained by, and something that I was really inspired to actually make movies. So I would grab my dad's camcorder and go out and just grab my friends and make films. I don't know if you ever saw like Super 8. Kind of the same experience of that, just kids running around making little home movies, and it got a little bigger, got a little more ambitious, and eventually, boom! It looks like you might have a career. So it's been a long and winding road to be able to make my first feature film. And if we have the trailer, I'll just.
This is what I got pulled.
Yeah,
let's then look from there. I'll let you just take it from there.
Are we on a share screen?
We are.
Okay, I think we can. How do we get in the hall? Everybody seeing this? Don't have very much at one side.
If you got audience.
Okay, let's see if that works. Oh, that'll be well. Oh, okay. It's one of those ones. Okay, don't worry about it. We don't need to see that. Okay. So let's see if we can hear anything. If you're just seeing visuals, it's visual, I guess. So this is the trailer for the film. I'll just highlight, we shot all around Seattle in 2019. You might recognize some locations in the film: Shoreline, CID, Chinatown International District, down in Burien, all about town. So maybe if you saw us the summer of 2019, you probably saw our film trucks just moving around and probably taking up your space and parking space. But a lot of this cast we have from different parts of the city, or from Seattle, but also in LA. So I'll get to that point very soon on the next one, but we'll just like wash in the visuals. It's a kung fu comedy about these three best friends who are now out of shape, and they have to avenge their master, but they've clearly lost their skills. And it's a whole story about redemption, about family, and about basically standing up to your word and holding up to your honor. This is like all of the things that you're hitting. This is good. Trust me, it's really funny. It's just like, yeah, just imagine with laughing. Yeah. And really fun kung fu, so we'll get to that.
I learned something, and it's kung fu, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Kung fu is the pronunciation in Chinese, so I guess it got transliterated somehow to be kung fu. But if you want to be cool, like the cool kids. All right, so that's the trailer. Let me see if I can get out of here.
Stop share, you want to stop share or?
I just want to go to the next, okay,
there you
yep. All right, so as I mentioned, can't see some of the photos that I have up here, they blocked my photo. But this is the history of my film production. Basically, I grew up watching Hong Kong movies, like I said, on one side, American movies on the other. One of the legends of Hong Kong cinema is Corey Yuen, who directed Jet Li, if you know Jet Li, contemporary action hero. But he's an amazing filmmaker, Corey, and he actually lives here in Shoreline. So his family grew up and went to high school with me, and that became he became my de facto mentor as far as making movies. So that was my film school. I couldn't afford to go to film school, but it's incredible if you can find, a mentor in your craft that can share and is generous with their knowledge. I think that's something I'm really grateful for, and hopefully that anyone else who endeavors to kind of develop their craft can have. That's really important as well. And hopefully, I'm my own work. I like to look forward to be able to pass my knowledge as well to the younger generation. So it's just something that was instilled in me as a young kid. Having a mentor, it's just really important for all of us to have. And I wouldn't be here today without mentors. So let's start there. So this is a martial arts story that I wanted to be able to tell. I also studied martial arts as a kid. And if you may or may not know, Bruce Lee had spent his formative years here in Seattle, Pacific Northwest. He went to school at the UW. He met his wife here. He opened his first Kung Fu school here. And so a lot of his students still continue to teach to this day, or is also students of students. So there's a whole legacy of Bruce Lee here in the Pacific Northwest. Obviously, he's buried here at Lakeside, or now at Lakeview. But I bring that up because he had first come to America and started teaching Kung Fu to non-Chinese people, let's put it that way. So that was very controversial that the Chinatown community said Kung Fu was pretty much just for Chinese people. And Bruce Lee threw up a lot of barriers to be able to do that. And so a lot of the students that I grew up with and I trained with were multicultural. Asians, Black, Mexican, Latino, all around was a very diverse group of people doing a Chinese martial arts. So it was a very interesting formative experience for me. And that's something I really wanted to be able to tell with this movie. As you saw with the movie, the trailer, you saw our cast. It was very multicultural. You had Asians and African Americans and whatnot. And that was a very key point. And that's a very key identity, I feel, in the Pacific Northwest, that it's always been welcoming and always been diverse, more diverse than, say, other cities that we might know of. And so that's an important point. So this is a story that I always wanted to be able to tell. And we had gone to try to pitch it in all these different places and try to raise money. So this is an example. We were at Cannes to just raise money for the film. Film is like the most expensive hobby you could have. It's like, we're talking, you're employing, 40, 50 plus people for, 6 weeks. And it's just like a carnival. It's kind of a circus when you see it, but it's very expensive. To raise money is not an easy task. So we had spent a lot of time, 10 years, in fact, trying to raise money to be able to make the movie. And we had gone to many Hollywood meetings, and this is why I said Hollywood should take a look at this test here, because it's like, we had a lot of these meetings in Hollywood, and they had money and they had the checkbooks. They liked the idea, but they said, can you make the cast to be white? And that means, can we make it more commercial? Can we make it, because this is the idea of where they think makes the most money is they could put a Bruce Willis or put, a white movie star, because there's no Asian movie stars, so put a white movie star that you can sell tickets on. And that's what Don was mentioning up front. This whole history of whitewashing is pretty common. This is a term for where roles and stories that are meant for characters of color are, suddenly recast with white characters or white actors. I think comes to mind Catherine Hepburn, The Good Earth, Mickey Rooney, Breakfast at Tiffany's. That was a little bit, a huge caricature, but this has been a long, I think John Wayne played Genghis Khan at one time, if you recall. Like, this is an incredible history in Hollywood of just like taking these characters that are ethnically diverse and just like putting in their Hollywood movie stars. So that's something that we wanted to push back against. And so we decided to do it on our own. And that meant we couldn't do it with any Hollywood funds, which means, you don't have access to those that level of money. So we had to basically bootstrap this ourselves. So I don't know if y'all are familiar with Kickstarter. That's a platform that we have to turn to, which is basically a crowdfunding campaign. It's essentially, a very elaborate way of just like begging for money with some rewards or cash prizes, like a T-shirt or a baseball hat in rewards, just as a gesture. And that was something that we had launched on I'm trying to recall the year, 2018, early 2018, and that's a 30-day campaign. And if you're not familiar with the challenge of Kickstarter, it's like you have to raise the money and your goal in 30 days. If you don't raise it, you don't get any of it. So you can have pledges, you can take pledges for up to 30 days, but if you don't hit the goal, you won't get it. So that put us in a bit of a quandary, because we said, what's going to be amount that's going to help us make the movie, but also be realistic. And so we thought, why do we need to be realistic? Let's raise $120,000 as a goal. The movie was $1 million, let's put it that way. But let's put something that could really move the needle for us, because again, we had to just bet on ourselves, because Hollywood was not going to come calling us. So that was the challenge. $120,000 is not a small amount of money. Very hard to raise. Most Kickstarters in general about 30 to 50-ish. So we just kind of like, let's just make it, if you're going to put 30 days of effort, let's just make it happen. Not recommended, but it was the most stressful 30 days in our lives. I'll show you the slide. This was literally the chart. We started our campaign late October, ended late November. These were the pledges that were coming in. So not so great. So we were pretty sweating bullets up to like maybe T-4 days of the campaign. And essentially, I don't know what happens, or people just forget to pledge, or people just come in late. The point is they came in and then they hit our goal. We surpassed our goal. So we were 113% funded. And that was really what set us on our way, because now other funders were interested because you did Kickstarter. So literally did Kickstarter us. So I think that was an example of us just being able to bet on ourselves, like I said, but also finding our community that otherwise we couldn't have found. And our community was martial arts fans, Asian American community, anyone that was like interested in knowing about supporting a film that wouldn't normally be made in traditional Hollywood structures. So again, Kickstarter put us on our way in a huge way, and we were able to make our film. And basically, this is where we were kind of pointing towards. This was before these major movies that came out in the last couple of years, because again, we've been at it for 10 years. But this is the audience we were pointing towards. There's a whole pocket of people that are wanting to see Black movies, wanting to see Asian movies. You can't see this Crazy Rich Asians on the right. But these are audiences that were never served or catered to by Hollywood up to now, up to recently, right? So just an example, Black Panther was a $200 million budgeted film. They opened on their weekend for 200+ million and eventually grossed 2 billion. Crazy Rich Asians were 30 million, opened to 27 million and grossed 412 million. So these are audiences that want to see stories, want to see themselves on screen, and that they just haven't been served. And it's for Hollywood to say, well, there's no market for it. It's because you haven't tried. And this is what we've always been bumping up against. And this is where Kickstarter and our own efforts were trying to kind of push for it. And I'll just show you a couple other examples that we had. that were doing really well. You can see all this kind of like, all these other films that came out recently, but I'll just highlight this, quote here. This Entertainment Weekly did some research on, the whole market case of diverse audiences. It's films with diverse casts boast higher global grosses and returns on investments than movies whose casts are predominantly white. I mean, and it goes to show that we have seen this. And so we're in kind of like a wave now. I think it's a little bit more acceptable that we can have movies that don't have, white centered movie stars or actors, but also Hollywood can't really say the things that they said to us, a couple of years ago in the same way before. So there's a lot more, like, it's changed the tone of the conversation. So now they have to actually encounter us at the table and deal with us versus just dismiss us or try to co-opt us. And so I'm proud that our movie could be a part of this conversation, being this moment, because when we were released, we bore that out because we showed that, like Don had mentioned, we were certified fresh in Rotten Tomatoes. We did really well on the film festivals. We were top 10 on the iTunes and Netflix charts as an independent film. And just we're competing with films that were 10, 20, $30 million pictures that are, our $1 million picture, stood toe to toe. So I'm very proud that we were able to kind of garner an audience that had been previously underserved, but B, we were able to tell the story that we wanted to, that was honest to ourselves. And I think that at the end of the day, for any filmmaker to be able to do that, that's the goal, right? And I'm sure if any of you came to the film festival, you can see all these artists that are, wanting to develop their stories and get their experiences on screen. That's a really important thing because that's how we can have honest stuff. I think I'll just speak for myself here, but I'm feeling a little bit unsatisfied with a lot of stuff that you go see in the movie theaters because a lot of stuff is either remakes or rehashes, and it just feels like there's nothing really interesting or substance right now for me. So I think it's important that we have artists and filmmakers that are putting out things that actually come from a point of view and an experience. So I'm just gonna show off a little bit more. We were proclaimed the Paper Tigers Day at Shoreline. So that was our kind of community bona fides here, is that we had our production office in Shoreline, and we had most of the time we were shooting in Shoreline and then going out from there. And so Shoreline sponsored the screening at Crest Theater, and they proclaimed us, let's see, the Paper Tigers Day. And the beautiful thing is, they didn't date it to the year. So they proclaimed October 15th as the Paper Tigers Day, but they didn't date it to the year, which usually they should have. But that means every October 15th is Paper Tigers Day. So it's coming up, and so pop some champagne for us as we watch the film. But that's a little fun thing. Well, we can't. But anyways, if I can go. I had a cool group photo, but there we go. And this is basically what we think about the economy for film is. And for small picture for us, again, $1 million is a big number in general, but that's a very small number for movies. But again, we have cast and crew that came from all over to be able to work here. This is, I don't know if you know Fircrest School in Shoreline. This was their old swimming pool. So we shot in the swimming pool. So this is an example of just a local production, but able to bring, cast and crew from all over. And it really is a great opportunity for casts who don't live here, who come to see Seattle, get to see Seattle, live and experience it while they're working. It's a great tourism, little tag. It's a great way of goodwill to show that people here are working and maybe encourage other filmmakers to think of that Seattle, and I mean broadly the Pacific Northwest and Washington State, that this is a place that we can film in. And I want to open up for questions, but I also want to bring up Vicky for a couple words. Yeah, yes, now. But so speaking of locations.
Hi, everybody. My name is Vicky, and Washington Filmworks. I want to shout out to Senator Hobbs here, but I'll circle back on that. So I was a supervising location manager for 25, maybe 30 years, and mainly in Washington State because it's my home. I'm a native Washingtonian, love it here, my husband and I. chose to live in Lake Stevens and raise our daughter here. That being said, I want more film here in Washington. And I was so happy that Laura started the Lake Stevens Film Festival. I was so happy that Val was in Shoreline, and Shoreline is what is considered a film friendly. They have a film office there. They are so accommodating. They really took good care about, they, pardon me, allowed that their old police station was the production offices, right?
It was great.
And one thing that I do want to say is that the bill that Senator Hobbs mentioned, Washington Filmworks had been only incentivized for a $3.5 million incentive. That wasn't able to help very many filmmakers like that. Washington Filmworks is all about helping filmmakers. I manage their film office now. I have an anniversary coming up on 2 years. The reason that I was offered the position and took the position was because it looked like we were going to be able to get 20 million. We ended up with 15 million. But what we're doing with that is, let me talk about the funding mechanism. It's the B&O tax of large companies. They can direct that B&O tax to us, and then they get a dollar for dollar credit of Department of Revenue. So they're able to still pay their B&O tax, but we glean the benefit of that. So that's how we raise our contributions to get to 15 million. Of that, we have set aside 3 million, specifically because we heard filmmakers, especially Val, saying we're not able to fundraise, we're not able to get to the levels, we're not feeling the support. So this 3 million initiated a small budget production initiative, and any filmmaker, any type of product, animation, feature film, episodic, between 20,000 and just under 1 million. So you would have to been 99999. You know, you could do that.
I wouldn't pay for copy.
Yeah, there we go. They are able to apply. We had our inaugural open window from May 15th to June 1st. We received 77 applications. That tells us that there's it kind of validated and confirmed that there's a huge need out there. We were able, the board decided to fund 17 of those projects, and some are in production now. It's just incredible. What's great is that we have a production incentive program that is for those higher budget. Come and spend your dollars in Washington State. I'm working really hard with a number of communities to make sure that that film friendliness, the minute that a filmmaker comes in from out of town and doesn't feel welcomed, that is hard for us to sell them on Washington. And that's part of my job, is to make sure that they see all our locations. That being said, pardon me, those filmmakers for both the small budget production incentive and the production incentive are able to glean 30%. We set that aside, the small budget production. If you are funded, you go straight to the board. If you are still seeking funding, we set 30% aside. We give you a letter that says, we're first money in, we believe in this project. You've got 6 months to go out and do a Kickstarter or however you're going to raise the funds for your budget. But investors are more likely knowing that there's 30% on the back end. So each of those initiatives are able to apply for filming in rural, which is a 10% uplift, and not just on their rural filming, but on the entire budget. So 40% would have really helped a filmmaker like Val. In addition, one thing that I'm really proud of is, I want to validate what Val was saying. We heard that the stories of historically excluded communities were not being told, bought, sold. And so what we did was, along with the rural, separate from, you can apply for a 10% uplift on the whole budget if you're telling the story of a historically excluded community. Val's film is a perfect example of what we were trying to do. with the $15 million statement, Senator Hogg. We will be coming back and asking for more money just to sort of increase us.
Not in the legislature anymore,
Well, it's okay.
but I got cornered off.
Yeah, exactly. So I just want to, thank you very much and thank Val, and I'll let you.
No, well, I mean, it's a theme that, we'll take questions together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a theme of, your field of dreams thing. It's like, if you build it, they will come. I think that's speaking to an audience that's underserved, a state that's, could bolster its industry with regards to film. Like, if we build it, people will come. It's like, that's the belief that we have. Yes, sir.
No comments from the peanut gallery to this question. I noticed that a lot of Hallmark movies are made in Seattle. At least they have Seattle and Pacific Northwest scenes. Are they part of getting credits for what they're doing?
That is the bane of our existence. Most of those are made in Vancouver, telling a Seattle or a Washington story. And it's because Vancouver, long ago, was the first in the incentive rings. They have no cap. They have the infrastructure of cages. They have the depth of breadth of crew. It's hard for Washington, Montana, and Oregon to compete with that, but we are trying. It is Vancouver stories. Vancouver filmed Seattle or Washington stories, and we're trying to change that.
Louisiana passed legislation several years ago for the same reason that you're talking about. And the whole goal was to bring big production companies into primarily New Orleans, but other parts of Louisiana. And I think it's been extremely successful if you look at some of the movies that have come out over the past several years.
It absolutely has. I'm a colleague of the Baton Rouge and Louisiana Film Office, and pardon me, all the film offices tend to meet quarterly to kind of exchange information. And they just gave a round of applause when they heard that, Washington State had gone from 3.5 to 15 million. Baton Rouge has quite a bit more. And we love independent film. We love commercials, we love corporate, anybody with a camera. But what really will help increase the depth and breadth of crew and the learning is having some episodic series here. I worked on Northern Exposure I was supervising location manager for 4 seasons. All local crew, with the exception of some of the showrunners and writers in LA. And the town of Roslyn, every time that we were in town, we paid every single business there. We gave the town of Roslyn a fire truck. The economic impact and the tourism dollars, Roslyn is still seeing tourists who want to come and see where Dr. Fleshman's office was, or where
the radio station.
where the radio is still there, yeah, where Ruth Ann and Ed danced on the grave, so that's really important, because we also, with the 15 million, are starting a workforce development program, and we're taking applications right now. Well, I think it just closed for above the line to be able to teach. If there's not film production here, it's really hard to learn at a computer or a desk. Would you agree with that? You have to be on set to learn. That's where I learned the most. I learned the most from bigger productions. Independent films, so many crew members on independent film have to wear 5 hats. On bigger projects, if they were to go on to a large set and try to pick up an Apple box that is a Grips domain, they would be chastised for that. Whereas in independent film, it's like everybody is family, you help each other out. So we love both, I loved working on them. So does that answer your question? I think long-winded.
Yeah, I got one for you. So, you mentioned rural, when back when we were discussing funding and that type of thing. Explain that one a little bit more.
Sure. So Washington State basically looks at the population and land mass in order, and correct me if I'm wrong, Senator, land mass. So 39 counties are in Washington State. 30 of those are qualified rural counties. So the closest one here is Skagit County. And Pierce, King, and Snohomish. Although we do believe that there are areas of Snohomish, I live here, I know there are areas that are rural and should be considered that. So we're gonna try to tweak that. We have a film day every year down in Olympia where we go and talk to representatives and senators and help to bring our perspective, our voice to them. And that's something that we're gonna be talking about for sure.
Just join in, just to speak to the north end, especially if we look at this area, now that we have Painfield. I think I'm a huge user for Painfield. Now you have transportation opportunities for actors, anyone that's based in LA or a crew like that, that's an easy commute versus trying to shuttle to SeaTac, and it's just a big, you know, we all know what a bear that is, but to have talent and convince talent or key crew or key creators, say you can come up here and work 5 days a week, go home for the weekend to LA, and you can have that scenario. I think that could really pan out. That could really work. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I'm, you know, looking up the film, looks like you released right in the very beginning of COVID.
Yeah, that was fun.
So your box office.
Not recommended.
Box office total isn't, you know, enough
Yeah.
to pay for the film, right? Talk about the other ways that films make money.
Yeah.
To be able to recoup those costs.
Yeah, well, you know, just to preface that, we set out to want to make a movie that was gonna open in theaters, so it was always, that was the goal. Fortunately, our distributor had a commitment, said we're gonna do this. We came out maybe, yeah, May 2021, yeah. And so that was, the theaters were half full. I don't know if you recall, there was a bit of a, you know, kind of a limited seats that were made available that you could even go see a movie. And so that did dampen the box office, but the other strategy was that you go to streaming at the same time. And so it's called a day and date release. So you could have a theatrical model, but also release to your iTunes or your Amazon for rent. You would buy and rent. We're also on DVD and Blu-ray, so that was also another aspect that you could have revenue streams on. And that was an interesting thing, because I think most people at that time were, even up to now, were like, no, theater first, because usually they want to preserve each window. Go to the movies before you could go buy it at home, because we want you to go to theaters. That wasn't as strong an option as it was at that time. And so that model kind of bore out because we were able to do promotions in theaters. We went to every theater and showing that we could get. So we were, you know, running across the country to every theater screening that we had to promote in-person screenings, which created press. But then people who read about it may not have been able to go to theater, but also had an opportunity to buy and rent it. And so it had that kind of like threefold effect. So it kind of worked out for us, but again, not recommended to make a movie during pandemic in general, but it was really what we could, that was the whole story that, you know, 10 years of just like rolling with the punches, really. And so we, honestly, we were just like, oh yeah, here comes another thing, and we just dealt with it. And so, yeah, there's a lot of revenue streams that still, we're still having revenue to now, because there's profit share on the renting and buying. So if you can support us, and that's how we can continue to be able to return on our investors. Right. Yes.
So I'm excited to watch it.
Yes. All right.
I'm gonna run home and tell my husband about it.
All right. Thank
So are you working on another project right now?
I should be now. I think we were mentioning happy news, like right now, if you watch the news lately, there's been a strike, double strike with the writers and actors over the whole summer. The writers just resolved their strike, so the industry is starting to get back to work. So we've been kind of in a weird holding phase for the last couple months, but now hopefully we can get back to some of our projects. So yes, hopefully we can come up with some new stuff soon. Yeah.
You can go ahead.
Okay, what would be some ways that Lake Stevens could become more film friendly? I know we've got a ways to go, but what would be some first stages?
Well, you support the film festival, of
Yeah,
course.
that's a good idea.
And
What else?
the film festival, sure.
Yeah.
So basically things like the permitting process. If the permitting process is easy and reasonable, if the police are easy to hire for intermittent traffic control, if the community, if they're filming in a neighborhood and all the neighbors are, you know, accepting of a film crew, kind of, you referenced it, Val, it's kind of like a gypsy circus that comes in, sets up their tents, does their job, which it is a job, and then folds up the tents and move on to the next location. They have to leave everything the way that they found it, if not better. And so it is a minor inconvenience. We do acknowledge that, but just things like, I know that there was a episodic that filmed up north, the town shall not be named, and they were not made to feel as welcome. Now, I'm not even going to go into any examples, but it was very strange for us to go into that town and say, no, this is kind of what happened. Here's how we can improve that. And so for, like, example, Lake Stevens, if someone wanted to come and film in one of the schools, for the school district to be accommodating, for the city to be accommodating, those are some of the things that I would say.
Chris Pratt can write a check.
Yeah.
Better yet, it's not our event.
That's right, that's right.
There we go.
But you can also contact your legislator when you're asking for money. But
Yes,
I don't really have a question, but I just comment, that tax exemption stuff was like pulling teeth. It was like one of the hardest things. We give a bunch of tax exemptions and to, you know, aerospace, the billions, you know, and agriculture, the billions. And just trying to get a couple of $1 million is just awful. And
we worked on it for 10 years.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And the rural stuff was to get Republican votes, by the way, which is fine. You shouldn't blind everyone, but that was to try to get Republican votes. And actually the biggest resistor was Democrats, because they didn't want to do it at all. Because apparently it was a giveaway to all of the elites or something.
And that's not the case.
Which is not the case. It's not the case. But anyway, I'm a big entertainment industry fan, so much so that my oldest boy is at the University of Washington, wanted to be a writer for, you know, entertainment industry, which worries me. That he wants to do that. That's what he wants to do, so I don't know if he'll be successful, but I wish him all the best. But yeah, we have this big industry up in Vancouver, and we're not getting really the benefits of it. So I wish you well. My office is you want to come by and visit the office, and we do have associations that come through and do meetings there and use the space. And then thank you for doing a, you know, Asian friendly film. As an Asian, I hypersensitive to a lot of films, and when I see things like, I'm sure you've seen too, where they cross cultural things, like they're making a Chinese film, but then they add Japanese stuff, and then it's like, dude, come on. You don't have an expert that can just be on, you know, or put a white person in there that it was for an Asian role. That bothers me a lot. Or taking Asian males and, you know, demasculating us. And you always see the Asian woman with the white dude, but you never see the Asian male with the white woman. You never see that. Luckily, I'm in that married situation. So if you want to film.
Oh, is that what we're gonna?
That's right. And I did take high school drama.
All right.
My acting skills are amazing. So.
And his content is great on screen.
All
Yes.
right. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
It's still good.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And one point that Senator makes is that the return on investment is absolutely incredible. For every dollar that is invested, it's a $10 return. How could that not be understood?
Right.
The biggest question though is, what kind of support did you have during your time campaign at the legislature? Was it just a few of you, or did you have a larger community that was in there helping out, trying to get this passed?
During the making of the film.
No, I mean, during the
Every
passage
okay.
of the film credits.
So it is a cash rebate. It's not a tax credit, so I always want to differentiate that. But we had a bus full of Spokane filmmakers come over. If you're familiar with the Rotunda Room, pardon?
World War Z, they had a bunch of.
Yes, Z Nation, yep, exactly. We had a zombies on the steps of the Capitol. Hundreds of filmmakers come to show their.
And then we had actors playing zombies on the stage. Yes.
Actors, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's it. There were only a few real zombies.
And just to put a more finer point on it, I think we talk about when a film comes to town, it's like, it's not just the people that are employed for the crew. Think of the hospitality, think of the people that are here, the hotels, the restaurants, any of the shops, all that is gonna be patronized because you have a film that's essentially coming in and supporting and living there for a while. And that's what Big Dave mentioned. For a TV series, for a movie, you know, we're spending about maybe 4 to 6 weeks, but for a TV series, for 10 episodes, you know, that's gonna be 8+ months, you know, that they're in an area. So that's a huge boon to any region.
So how
Yeah.
do you decide what is gonna be a good movie? And the second thing is you gotta go to Hollywood or somewhere to sell the idea and then you raise the money into that. But how do you decide what's good or how do you know out there that this is gonna sell?
Yeah.
Kind of a thing or the story. And then the second thing to that is some films are an hour long and some are 3 hours long. So how do you decide the crescendos and the whole 9 yards?
Yeah. When you run out of film, that's
Movie's over.
Yeah, exactly. So the first question, in all honesty, there's a famous screenwriter, Robert Town, who wrote Chinatown. He said, nobody knows anything in Hollywood, anywhere. Nobody knows. Like, I can't tell you it's gonna be good, but I can believe it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
And you either buy in or not. And that at the end of the day is really what movie making is, or any type of adventure in art, because nobody knows. And so we're all trying to be the best, but either you believe it and trust or not. So
Yeah.
that's the goal. Otherwise, you know, invest in real estate. Just like, no, honestly, like we were really transparent with our investors and we just said, you know, we do these pitches, but straight up, like you have to be prepared to put your money in and maybe not see it. But if you want safe money, put it in real estate, put it in, you know, a CD or something. Like there's different
Big rewards here, yeah.
yes, so but there's different levels of risk that an investor can do, and it's up to them to decide, right? And so, yeah.
And it's up to the director, producer like Val to decide how long the film will be and when the story is done being told. So that's why some directors choose a 3-hour long story and yours is 90 minutes, right?
Yeah, 110, but it's okay. But you know what's, I feel like there's another complaint. Let me just get on my
Go
rant
for
box. You guys know how long these movies, remember intermissions? We don't have intermissions anymore. It's incredible. These movies are getting longer. These Marvel movies are like 2.5 hours. They don't have intermissions. It's incredible. I have needs. Anyway. Yes, exactly.
I'm not meaning to be rude, I just have a 9 o'clock appointment.
All right.
It was very, very interesting.
Thank you. Have a great day.
So as far as the film festival, Lake Stevens, people come and do a little 10-minute film or they do an hour-long film or what do you expect from somebody new coming in and said, hey, I want to be a participant
Yeah,
in the film festival?
well, we have a submission process, so you submit on a platform, we have screeners that view most of them are short films, so under like around 10 or 15 minutes. And then we usually do one feature film.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
Can I just say, because what Laura did was get a local Lake Stevens, Lacey Levitt is a producer who produced Safety Not Guaranteed. I forgot what a good movie that was. That was the feature film. And she got Chris Pratt to do a video shout out to the film festival and to Lacey because they know each other. I think they're a year apart at Lake Stevens Festival, something like that. And so she really curates the festival for this community.
Yeah, it's cool.
This is why we're here. Just like Laura, John, and now this is all connecting here. So
full circle, Rotary is fun, yeah, it's like group effort, so glad you guys are here.
So thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It's exciting. You'd think that you know, with the airport and that, the variety of landscape around Snohomish County. That there could be some good opportunities, you know, and everything is not very far, you know, that type of thing.
We're actually gonna be hopefully launching a screenplay competition at this year's festival, or next year's festival, for films set here. So with a cash, you know, prize to get, you know, small, maybe shorts, but still get people like.
Somebody's gonna tell the story of the train in the lake, right?
So the number one, I don't know what you'd call it, but joke, I guess is Chesapeake Bay, which is filmed in Canada, in Vancouver, actually Vancouver Island. I've never been to the real Chesapeake Bay. But I don't think there's more than maybe hills there, you know, and that type of thing, and what it must feel like to live there. And see these huge mountains all over the place across the water, you know, and, you know, I mean, it's actually even hard to avoid it when you watch Seattle movies made in Vancouver and you see these massive hills that go straight down to the water, which is Vancouver area, you know, it's just the geology there is substantially different from Seattle. And, you know.
I've been looking for those locations for a long time in Washington State.
Yeah, well, San Juan Islands could possibly qualify. Anyhow, again, thank you very much. And with that, we're done. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.